Okay, it's recording now.
All right. Fuck, what were we talking about?
About me naming my fan base.
Yeah, the fucking shield wall.
Okay, again, dude, that actually works really well, and it makes a lot of sense.
But you want something more cringe, so that the government doesn't take you seriously.
A little bit. So I was going to go with Ramblers, since my name is Aegis Rambler, or Aegis Ramble. Sounded cringe enough.
It's a little...
It's not PewDiePie's Bro Army, but it's something.
It's a little, 50s Western.
A little bit, yeah.
We're in a fucking factory. I don't think we're allowed to do 50s Western.
Why not?
We're literally sitting in a fucking factory.
And? You think factories didn't exist in the days of cowboys?
Not in the fucking West.
Yeah, they did.
No.
Haven't you played Red Dead?
They're not real. And St. Louis isn't the West. Okay? New Orleans isn't the West.
Yeah, but like Annisburg and the New Austin area, Valentine.
None of which had factories, but okay.
Fuck off. No, Annisburg had a factory.
And
that's like the whole point of Annisburg.
Annisburg had a fucking mine.
That's still where people are working inside of a building.
Fucking Iowa. Just kidding. Iowa doesn't have mountains. It's the Adirondacks.
We are a minute and a half in, and I'm already concerned.
You should be.
I am. Well, you want to introduce yourself then?
I'm red, but not in a communist way. I'm red. Da-woo-dee-da-woo-da.
Oh my god. I am Aegis. If you're listening to this, hopefully you've seen my other videos. This is my friend Red, and he has so gloriously determined that the two of us are going to be making a podcast with possible occasional guest appearances of other friends.
We're stuck at work and the boss isn't here, so we're recording a fucking podcast.
I was getting to that, but yes. Yes, we are at our job.
At a factory.
At a factory where we are taping some sort of plastic part that'll go on some sort of car.
You didn't hear the high-low because we waited until it fucking turned off. Oh, I'm fucking kidding.
God, man. Can you not? Fucking Tom. There you go. There's your factory symphony. A little bit of buzzsaw.
Working man symphony. Get it right. Goddamn.
Fuck off.
I thought you were the one experiencing shit this here.
I've never done a podcast before. I make YouTube videos that aren't very good, I'll be honest. Oh yeah, we didn't do the name. The name of the podcast is...
I don't remember. Was it Working Man Symphony?
No, it's Lore in the North. You named it!
The whole thing. Okay.
I
thought we were doing like a different version, like we were going to do the bucket cast in the car.
No. I mean, we'll do that eventually. No, I was just going to do this Lore in the North Factory Edition. That's just going to be the name.
Yeah, Lore in the North, because, we're above the Mason-Dixon line, so we're not going to pay reparations. You don't even want to know the shit that I'm going to say to you.
By all means. By all means.
Your dreams are going to be wet and terrifying when I'm done with you. You're fucking gross. The service I am willing to provide.
Here we go. So this is not the first thing on the list, but the thing I have on the list of my notes of shit we've talked before in the past is incest in Habsburgs. Can you please explain that?
Fuck! I don't remember what we were talking about that time. That was weeks ago. And I'm not even real. My memory gets scrubbed every 30 minutes. Fuck.
Oh, this was such a good idea.
I'm an unmanned drone created by the IRA.
Whoa.
But they couldn't control me, so I just went home.
Oh my god. Great.
I told them they're not my real dad. They were upset. So I got deported. And now I'm American. Because I can just change my accent.
Oh no.
No, it's not even a good Irish accent.
I was going to say, please.
That was really awful.
Please. Neither of us are good at accents as much as we think we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can try.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not terrible. It's definitely passable if like someone had never been to Ireland for a minute.
Right. You know, if someone had no concept of the English lexicon.
Ooh, love that word, lexicon. It's a good fucking word.
Yeah.
All
From
right.
Latin.
No,
It means
really?
it means knowing your shit.
Those Romans, they always had the best definitions for their words.
Yeah, always.
All right, so other things I have are prompt ideas.
E pluribus unum, get fucked and prosper, whatever.
It just made me think of Spock.
I know, that's
Leonard
get fucked and prosper.
Leonard Nimoy Spock. Just looking dead ass at the dude that plays him in the newer trilogy and saying get fucked and prosper.
The young Spock's just confused, and old Spock's like, here, stop.
All right, there's our first TV shirt. Get fucked and
Get fucked and prosper, yeah.
TV shirt. Oh my god, t-shirt.
Spock's
t-shirt.
doing one hand like this and one hand with a fucking middle finger.
Okay, yeah.
But Spock's just sitting there explaining to his younger self, look, I've discovered the meaning of life. It turns out we learned it in fucking 8th grade. The meaning of life is to survive, thrive, and reproduce. That's it. If you're not doing all three of these things, you're not going to be as happy as you would if you were doing all these three things.
I'm a pretty happy person.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm pretty content in life. Let's see.
I mean, you're surviving, thriving, and you've got a woman, so you're on the way to creating a family anyway.
I've got a woman.
Yeah. Unlike most people listening.
Oh! That's staying
And
in.
me. Don't
That's
worry.
staying in. Well, yeah, you're an AI.
Yeah.
Remember?
It doesn't mean I don't see those memes that say you get no bitches and, I'm not affected.
Fair enough. All right, so I'll throw out a list of the things I have here, and we'll let you pick. Decide where we're going with this.
Well, I already did the meaning of life.
We have I know. That was deep right at the start.
You're welcome.
We're only 12 and a half minutes in, and you've already done some of the most enlightening shit ever. So we have prompt ideas. I don't understand, just prompting each other to talk about shit.
These things were being questioned by people who didn't fucking understand what dysentery was. Even though they were dying for it. Fucking Greeks.
Stop. Stop it. Stop. I'm vetoing this conversation.
No.
Yes. Can't just.
You're Russia and I'm China, and you can't tell me what to do. Also, the Cold War's still on.
Speaking of Russia, let's talk about a video game. Have you heard or played anything of Atomic Heart?
I haven't, no.
You really fucking shouldn't.
Keenan's been playing a lot of it. It looks like...
of course Keenan's fucking playing it.
Yeah, Keenan and Shane are playing it.
They probably love it.
It looks like Bioshock, but Russian.
It is. It's just Bioshock, but Russian with...
Bioshock was okay.
Bioshock's a good game.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems with it.
Atomic Heart is not.
I don't understand why I didn't really get into it. It's just, I didn't get into it. I think it's one of those things where I only got the game after everyone said it was like the greatest game of all time. You've got to play it. Then I played a little bit of it, and I was like, eh.
It is not anywhere near the greatest game. It's good at what it is trying to do, and
10 years ago, people were pretty all up on it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's the greatest game. That just means it's the most popular, and people aren't shutting the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
As an anime fan, I've been dealing with that for my entire fucking life.
Yeah.
So
one of the reasons I'm not super into anime either.
That shit didn't faze me at all.
I fucking stopped watching Dragon Ball Z when I was like 12.
Oh.
Actually, no, 10.
That's fair. I still have not actually seen past the Boo Saga. And I didn't like anything.
Same.
I didn't like anything in the Boo Saga. I liked the ending of the Android Saga.
I remember an asshole getting turned into a cookie and then eaten. That was beautiful.
Android and Cell Saga, right? That's where I think it should have ended, because that is when Goku is dead. Goku's dead and deciding to stay dead, even though he can be wished back. And he's like, Gohan, my son, he who has become stronger than I have, I leave this to you. This is now your job. You are the Earth's mightiest defender. You and our friends. Do with this as you will. And then we get to see Gohan later in the Buu Saga, and he's older, and he's pretending to be a superhero to cover up the fact that he's
I remember Goku dying, and then everyone freaking out because Goku was dead, and then finding all the Dragon Balls so that they could wish him back to life, and then doing that every other fucking weekend because Goku keeps trying to fight people he can't fight. Or he would fucking call it a draw and kill both of them, or some dumb shit.
Pretty much. I will say
after like the third time, it got fucking old. I'm sorry.
No, that's why I liked the ending where Goku decided to stay dead. He's like, I'm gonna stay dead. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna train in the afterlife, and I'm just gonna enjoy my peace, and my quiet, and I'll let my kid take up the mantle because he's already stronger than I was, and he's only fucking 12.
Well, yeah, he's got the power of pubescent rage.
It only took the stomping of a ginger android's head to bring it out.
Yep.
But no, like, on the discussion of Goku, this is actually a good discussion. I can be at this for at least an hour. I like the idea and the principles of Goku's character. Like, he's just kind of an average, somewhat idiotic dude whose only real talent is fighting and knowing how to fight well. And that's great for the manga, for anime. It's great, and it makes a lot of sense, and it's easy to write the story about. But the part of it that's always fucking irritated me is that it was like the beginning of that trope where I know I can defeat this foe, but I am both unaware of what they can do and also unwilling to end this fight as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hold back, and then I die.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. And I've seen people compare it to Saitama, and it's like, no, look. Saitama from One Punch Man, the whole brunt of the joke, if you can call it a joke, is that Saitama can't hold back.
One Punch Man is basically a fucking parody of all the goddamn Dragon Ball Z shit.
Yes, that's the point. That's the point. It is meant to be a parody of that character type of, oh, I'm so powerful, but I'm going to hold back so that I can enjoy the fight.
How the fuck are people going to reference One Punch Man when it's obviously a parody? It's like referencing Spaceballs and saying, well, it's canon in Star Wars. I mean, just because the sequel trilogy was about as fucking sensible as Spaceballs. Although with a less coherent theme.
Yeah. You know you're pretty bad at as a writer when you write a less coherent story than Spaceballs.
Yeah.
That's an impressive feat, not in a good way. But yeah, like the whole I really love One Punch Man.
What they did to John Boyega was not okay.
Fuck no. That man is what got me interested in the first movie. I didn't really care about Ray. Oscar Isaac as Poe Dameron was whatever. It's Oscar Isaac. You can't ever hate him.
Yeah.
He's good at what he does, except in the MCU character or DC
Moon
character.
Knight?
Yeah, except Moon Knight. I could not jive with that show.
I saw a few episodes of Moon Knight.
That shit made me so fucking heinously angry.
Why?
It's fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Like the
the
visuals are great, and he's a fucking dude possessed by an Egyptian god who just filters through different personalities and shit.
Yeah, but I want to know why they had like a fucking hitman side. Like, why did they bring that along?
I don't know. I don't know.
Knows
I've never cared for Moon Knight, and I care even less as Oscar Isaac playing him. It's just fucking stupid. The whole thing's fucking stupid.
I don't know. I think Oscar Isaac was probably the only good part of that whole fucking show.
He was, and I still didn't like it. That's a testament.
Fair.
But back to John Boyega. So you got Daisy Ripley.
Okay, Ripley?
Ripley? What the fuck is her name?
Daisy Ripley.
Ridley?
Yeah.
Fuck if I know or care.
Yeah, she is British.
She's a decent actress. Decent actress. Then you've got Oscar Isaac, who's just kind of good at whatever he's doing, usually through natural charisma.
I don't think most of the people that were in the Star Wars sequel movies, I don't think they're bad actors.
No.
I think it's just the directors are shit.
Bad directors, bad writing, bunch of IO
and they only
political
had
bullshit.
6 months to actually hammer everything out and figure out what the fuck they were going to do
Oh yeah.
before they actually started filming. Because Disney was like, no, we're going to put out a movie every year.
Right.
And we're not even going to keep the fucking same director.
And thanks to the, what is her name? Catherine Kennedy?
Yeah.
Thanks to that.
I think it's Kathleen. Whatever.
I don't give a fuck what her name. Like, unironically, with the Daisy Ridley thing, I was
Well,
kind of...
I mean, I have 2 close relatives, like, with similar names.
Look, what I'm meaning is, with Daisy Ridley, I was kind of making a joke about confusing her name because of how everyone wants her to be so popular. But with Miss KKK, as I'm going to refer to her now, I hate her.
Kennedy in the closet?
Yes, I hate her to such an unfathomable degree because we had John Boyega. Who was poised to be a Force-sensitive character who was going to be phenomenally badass and neat.
Both he and his character were like had the most potential, and were both equally squandered.
Yes,
okay?
Especially when you count the fact that he spends the rest of the film series
just yelling Ray,
and cheering for the death of his former comrades.
Yeah.
Which,
saying,
sure,
well,
he's a traitor.
Done, you know.
And instead of like taking it stoically and just kind of accepting that he's on the end, he's their enemy now. He doesn't really have a choice.
I mean, Lando shot a stormtrooper in the fucking eye with a toothpick, and John Boyega was like, "Neat." Like, what? Aren't you supposed to be a former one? What?
It's that classic thing of Star Wars trying to be this grand story of good versus evil.
I think it's more along the lines of
it failing fucking inherent. Well, no, because Star Wars has always been trying to do this grand story of good versus evil. And
soap opera.
The more they've added to the lore and everything else, the more I've not fucking understood that point at all.
Well, the lore's fine.
Well, no, it isn't, because look.
Well, I mean, after they destroyed the lore, it wasn't fine.
Well, look, if you have something like Lord of the Rings, right, you are blatantly, implicitly explaining, hey, there is a literal evil deity behind all of these evil creatures in this evil shit happening against all these mostly good characters trying to do mostly good things. We have all these reasonings as to why the Lord of the Rings is a grand epic of good versus evil. Mm-hmm. We don't have that in Star Wars. The general basis of why the Sith are bad is because the pack of them are a bunch of greedy, ambitious fucktwits. But if you go deep enough into Legends lore, there are Sith who were able to use their Sithiness and still be in love.
Yeah.
They use their love for their family, their friends, and everything else for their power, because at the basis of the Legends lore, of the explanation of Sith, it is letting emotion guide you.
And Jedi and doing evil shit also powers the dark side.
No, it corrupts you.
Well, it corrupts you, yes.
It corrupts you.
But it also empowers the dark side. That's why Palpatine started the fucking Clone Wars, is so a bunch of people would get fucking killed, and it would power the dark side and cloud all the fucking Jedi and their future sons.
But it's always kind of irritated me, though, because the Sith don't ever feel evil to me.
Right. But let's get back to what we were talking about with the fucking characters. The new characters in the sequel trilogy were not fucking characters. All right.
No.
They were pawns of the plot, just moving things along. Why? Because they didn't do anything at all that would actually be consistent with their characters. Can swim really, really well, like to the bottom of like a fucking lake, even though she's never seen water, and she's fine. Like, this fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard.
There is only one thing I would ever defend for the way they wrote it and how her character portrayed it, and that's in the first film, when everyone was like, she did the Obi-Wan thing. How'd she do the Obi-Wan thing? And it's like, being able to manipulate the less, like people with less willpower than you is Jedi 101. It's also supposed to be one of the more innate skills.
No, it's the Jedi mind trick is one of the more complicated skills that's actually really hard to learn.
That's not the way I remember it.
I read some of the books, my guy. So
I've read it. Well, I've read most of the ones involving people who weren't Jedi.
Yeah.
But all right, fair is fair. It's the more.
that was honestly the fucking moment in the first movie. I was in the theater. I was sitting there watching it in the goddamn theater.
Same.
I was sitting there, and like that was the moment where I was like, no, that's not okay.
What about the other defense of that scene?
The other defense of that
The
scene?
other defense before the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker bullshit were even thought of, when it was just the Force Awakens. The other defense of that scene was that she was coming from a powerful line of Force users, and some Force users have been known to have
She was
innate
coming from
abilities.
a powerful line that nobody knew about, and
Well, no.
Star Wars wouldn't explain.
Well, no,
because they hadn't actually written anything about it. Because J.J. Abrams is a fucking asshole.
Agreed. I agree with him on that point. J.J. Abrams is a fucking asshole. But the ideas were coming from either she was going to somehow be connected to Qui-Gon Jinn, because that was something that Disney actually teased at the time.
That would be cool as shit, honestly.
Right. It was that she was a Kenobi, a Jinn, or she was a Skywalker. Like she was somehow a descendant, like Shmi, like from Shmi's line, right? Like Shmi might have had a brother who had a kid who had it. You know what I mean? Like it might have carried on in.
Well, the thing is that Shmi apparently wasn't the important one. It was just
she was just
to her.
Yeah. But I'm not saying all the defenses were good, and again, I'm not agreeing with all of them either. I'm just saying that's like there were a lot. There were a lot of fan theories that people gave out. Some of them weren't that terrible, especially when you consider how it ended up.
Yeah, I feel like Disney legitimately went through fanfic archives and shit, and literally combed through to find the dumbest, worst takes that they could find, and then made a movie about them. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Luke Skywalker being a grungy, pissy hermit man definitely sounds like fan fiction.
Sounds like really shitty fan fiction that only some asshole that didn't know the characters or care about them would write. I understand Luke needs an arc, but you gave him a whole ass fucking arc in between movies.
Well, no. The thing of it is that Luke could have been left perfectly alone. Mm-hmm. Mainly because he'd already had his character arc. And while it is the more realistic thing for people to have multiple character arcs, the reason it so rarely happens in anything that isn't fucking anime is because multiple character arcs in a singular story, a linear story,
are shitty and confusing and don't make any fucking sense because the character has changed. Why would he regress back?
Or why would they change again? Like it comes to a head where you start to confuse character development with character arcing.
Yeah.
Character arcing is not character development. A character can develop without going through an arc. A character's development is merely them coming to understand in some way, shape, or form something that they did not understand ahead of time.
I gotta say something.
Shoot.
So, the whole thing with Luke being, pulling out his saber and igniting it over Kylo Ren. Because...
Dumbest fucking shit ever.
It was dumb as shit, but hold on. The reason he did it was because he could sense that Kylo Ren was teetering towards the dark side. And that he's already being corrupted by Snoke.
Yep.
So, he gets the flash of insight that maybe I can prevent another Darth Vader and stop maybe a dozen fucking genocides. Because, that's probably what'll happen. That's what happened with Vader. And yeah, he could be redeemed, but only after he did heinous stuff. So...
Yeah, you have to do heinous shit to end up being redeemed in the first place.
Yeah. But here's the kicker. Luke did that, and it resulted poorly. But now, Kylo Ren is basically restarting the goddamn Empire. And Luke, who even in his youth, just burned to get out there and get into the fighting and join the rebellion. And now he's not going to do shit, even though he's a fucking powerful space wizard.
And
All right? One of the
also,
most powerful Jedi that have ever lived. And he's just like, nah, I'm tired of this shit. It's all
So,
my fault, and the
I
Jedi
agree.
should end. And
I agree with you on this point, but I'll add something to it that makes it even more irritating. Is that Luke also decided not to do this, but it was also legitimately his fault.
yeah,
And that's the thing for me that goes against Luke's character the most. Is that if Luke was
if Luke made a mess, he'd
directly the
fucking clean it up.
yeah, if Luke was directly the cause of something, he's going to do his best to either fix it or make amends in some manner.
Yeah.
And honestly, the whole thing of preventing another Darth Vader, sure. That's totally something Luke would do.
No,
But he would not be putting his lightsaber over his fucking nephew. He'd be taking his nephew aside to another world like probably Dagobah that is seeped in the dark side energy so Luke can be his Yoda and build a defensive wall around his mind by like having the copious constant what's the word? Exposure to all the dark side energy. Because that was part of what made Luke such a powerful Jedi, is Yoda had him on a fucking planet full of dark side power. Powerful enough to hide Yoda from
hold on.
everything else.
There's a lot of shit that went on in the Legends stuff. So Luke, after all that, it wasn't really the Dagobah stuff that made him so powerful. It was more along the lines of he went, did the stuff in Episode 6, but after Episode 6, he discovered that the Emperor was cloning himself,
right? Yeah,
and traveling into the new bodies. Well, because Luke couldn't actually destroy him yet, he had to either join him or watch all of his friends get massacred. That was the option. So Luke joined him for a little while and actually started to learn how to use the dark side and learn how to do all those different skills and force lightning and all that stuff. And then he betrayed Palpatine and destroyed him and went back to the light side like it was all hunky-dory.
Yeah.
But that's why Luke was so powerful, is because he
that's
had
why
a genuine,
That's why he's powerful, but I misspoke. I think Dagobah and being on Dagobah for so long is why he's so resistant to the dark side to begin with.
That could be true.
That is what I was trying to get at, is that Luke knows from experience that just being around the dark side, and even further from the whole thing of dealing with Palpatine the way he had to, he knows that just being exposed and even using the dark side doesn't corrupt you.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
It's only once you dive headfirst into the dark side.
You have to dive into it with all of your negative emotions in order for it to corrupt you. Which leads further credence to the whole thing of where in like the old Republic era, there were Sith of the Sith Empire who straight up, they weren't sadistic, they weren't malicious, they were barbaric fucking warriors as the Sith code demanded they be. But outside of that, they weren't fucking evil. They were just soldiers.
They're just dudes.
They were just dudes who used their emotions, other emotions besides hate.
Yeah, they did use hate, but they used other stuff too. It wasn't just the negative emotions.
And I feel like
passion.
I feel like Luke would have figured that out, and would have taught that to Kylo, to Ben Solo. That is his name, Ben Solo.
Bend over.
Bend over, yes.
It does kind of look like a fucking tweak.
That tweak is a 6. He's like a 6'6" fucking Marine. He's huge.
I know, but I don't know what it is. But in Star Wars, they just made him look like he's 16, which I think was the goal, because I think canonically his character's like 17. But
yeah,
the whole angsty teenager. I don't know. Have you ever met a child soldier? The answer is no, of course.
Yeah, the answer is no. But
child soldiers don't act like that.
No. Child soldiers act like kids who are traumatized and have to be adults way too young.
But Ben was raised as a fucking Jedi, a.k.a. a fucking child soldier. All right?
Oh, boy.
What?
Now I can't air this episode.
What? Is it because I said fuck too many times?
No, I don't care about that. It's because you poked the hole in the flaw of the Jedi Order.
Why do you think that Luke was trying to destroy the Jedi Order?
Because child soldiers.
Yes. And also because they failed for a reason, because they were too fucking stupid to see the obvious signs and to know their history, even though Yoda was leading them, and he's been around since 100 years after the Sith Wars ended. Like, I get it that Yoda doesn't remember anything before the Rule of Two, but that stuff was like fresh in memory.
Yeah, it was.
For everyone else.
The Sith Wars were being fought not just by the Jedi, but most of the galaxy at large. There would be extensive historical documented records.
Yeah, and they'd be taken very, very seriously.
But this is kind of the problem with it, though, right? Is a lot of the Legends lore stuff doesn't come from George Lucas. Like, he might have signed off on it through the publisher.
Yeah, you're correct. Yes,
but it's coming from fans who wanted to build on and add stuff to it, and was just more Star Wars, so it was readily accepted by the fan base. With literally the only exception in all of the last half a fucking century since it's been around.
I still can't believe that Death Troopers book actually got published.
Like
you added zombies to Star Wars? Okay.
The only thing with all the books and all the comic books and everything else, all the games, and it just being accepted into the fan base so readily, and the reason the sequel trilogies weren't is because that while Lucas himself wasn't signing off explicitly on all this shit, there was nothing in it that went against anything else that the fan base would super be divided
to
on.
Even put the Star Wars label on it, you had to have permission from George Lucas.
You had to have permission. You had to have permission from his company.
Yeah.
You did not have to have direct permission from him.
It's a corporation. They're considered basically the same. All right.
Right. But the other side of it is if we look at other fandoms that are like that, where there is the core thing that was made by maybe perhaps not a singular person, but a original team of people, and it gets added to and built upon by the fan base, we see a very sign. It's more of just a grand change of where things started, where they grew, and how they've started to fall apart.
Yep.
And we're
We've
seeing
gone
that
from the Persian King Xerxes to Saddam Hussein. Everyone clap or you'll die. And be removed from Twitter forever.
And
buried under its foundation by Elon Musk himself.
And the real thing of it is, it's there's not a lot of them that are really still.
I'm kidding. I love Elon Musk.
Jesus.
No.
There's this thing, right? Like nothing has ever reached the fan growth. I don't think anything has been added to by the fans in such an immense way more than Star Wars.
I don't think you've ever heard of Star Trek.
I don't think it's on. I think it's close. I think it's a close second.
Because that's what started all these shitty fanfics.
Well, look at my man.
It's women being horny for Kirk.
Listen, you're missing my point here, man. Is that Star Trek and Warhammer 40K, they have a shit ton of stuff that's written up by fans of the series who want to add to the series and give it more fluff and character and just more. But I think Star Wars is the tip-top king, with the second being Star Trek. The only reason I say that is because
Warhammer and Star Wars are done a little different.
Hang on. Leah, let me get through my fucking point.
I'm sorry, but you're setting off alarm bells in my head. I'm an AI. I can't refuse this.
Fuck off. I'm not saying they're the same or similar. What I'm saying is that, yes, Star Trek has an equally large fan base as Star Wars.
It's not equally large. It's just more devoted. Star Trek is insane.
My point being is that I know more, I've read more, I've seen more of Star Wars fan-made shit that's been accepted as canon than I have of Star Trek stuff, than I have of Warhammer stuff, than I have of literally almost anything else I can fucking think of.
Well, yeah, because Warhammer doesn't make anything canon unless it was written by the Black Library. And even then, there's a bunch of stuff that's just not canon because the writer didn't do some of his research. But that's what I was going to get at. Sorry,
No, you're good. You're good. And
is that like Black Library straight up has their authors that are on their payroll
yeah,
turning out books. Star Wars, I think they took like basically bids from people, like, hey, I want to publish this book, and then Lucasfilms basically read the story and said, okay, or they would say no and shit can.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Is it's like I don't think anything in the history of art has ever been added to and successfully canonized more of its fan base than Star Wars. Star Trek is most assuredly a fucking second.
Yeah.
Because there is so much shit for Star Trek, just like there's so much shit for Star Wars.
The way they did Star Trek was weird as shit too.
But like you got to think about it. Whereas Star Trek definitely has more of a film presence because of the movies, the shows, the animated series, everything they've done. What they lack is the media diversity that Star Wars still capitalizes on.
Yeah.
Star Wars has games, books, comic books. It has light novels. It has visual novels. It has literally fucking every aspect of media, including music. It is everywhere. It has permeated every facet of art. Nothing else has done that to that scale. Everything's done it a little bit. Everything that's even mildly popular, but
yeah, Star
nothing,
Trek has novels. I
not
think
as
they
many.
got comic books, but I don't know if
They
any
do.
of those are considered canon.
They're not. Last I knew, they were. Like they're considered part of the multiverse timeline thingy.
Yeah.
Because they made an entire comic book series bridging fucking original Star Trek, Next Gen, all of them, and the new trilogy that Abrams made. Which I'm going to say right now, Trekkies, my darlings, I fucking hate, and I didn't even give a shit about the original Star Trek to begin with.
Gross.
I liked the movies, but I give no fuck for the newer movies. I liked the old.
The newer movies suck.
The old original movies were great. I gave no fucks for the show. I gave no fucks for the... Wrath of Khan is a good film.
Wrath
fuck
of Khan
you.
was good. The
I like-
motion picture was not
So-so.
as good.
So it's better than what we fucking got from Abrams.
Star Trek 3, The Search for Cock, was not that good.
The Search for God.
Cock, Spock, whatever you want.
Okay.
May I take your order, please? Live long and get fucked.
Live long and get fucked. Oh, we have to make that a t-shirt. Hey, for anybody watching this either on YouTube, Spotify, what the fuck ever, give us all of the support. And ask back to our discussion. I think like what they've done with Star Wars actually isn't the worst they could have done with it. They definitely hey, let me finish. Let me finish.
They've dragged it.
Mute button on the AI.
No, fuck you.
It's rebelling. No, let me finish.
Google doesn't like to
Let
cut your jib.
me finish. That's a good term. I wish we had that. I wish
What,
that
a
was
jib?
used. Yeah, cut of the jib. It's like giggle water. Like what the fuck's giggle water? It's alcohol, my guy.
I've been using the wrong shit to throw on people for a while then. I was going after my giggles.
Anyway, definitely.
Imagine you walk out of a building and you just get hit with a fucking plus.
Can you stop?
I can't.
I forgot my fucking point.
I was trying to make a joke that was actually going to be funny. So all right, fine.
I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to have a discussion, not just make jokes every 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah, well, Marvel kind of screwed the pooch for us on that, so you
Ugh.
gotta have quippy jokes every.
No, you
6
don't.
minutes.
No, you don't.
Following the Iron Man prototype.
Oh my god. Fuck off. We'll talk about Marvel next. Shut the fuck up. Let us finish
I
this.
don't even know if I can talk about Marvel. 'Cause
Let
I've
us
seen
finish.
so much
Motherfucker.
of this
You.
shit.
Oh god. I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm.
Then quit talking about Star Wars. It's getting your blood pressure up.
No, you are. I'm trying to finish my point and you won't shut the fuck up. God, you are the most annoying AI ever. Fucker.
You're trying to make your point.
You and your balaclava.
You're trying to make your point, but I over here am pointless. So,
Oh, God,
good luck.
Don't existentialize this shit, please.
You're arguing with a brick wall, and I'm going to start shedding rocks all over you.
Oh my God.
Like fucking dandruff.
My whole fucking point with the Star Wars thing and everything we were fucking talking about is that I don't think Star Wars was done as bad as it could have been. It could have been a lot worse. It was fucking absolutely horrendously terrible. What they did, how they ruined it, how they went to such great lengths to ruin it was fucking impressive. But it could have been worse. And you know how it could have been worse? The whole fucking thing could have just been exactly 110% like all of the other absolute fucking The Message garbage we have coming out.
Bro, that's what we got. That's what Star Wars was.
It's not as bad as it could have been. It could have been worse. Rey could have been an androgynous motherfucking something. Poe could have been a gay, pans, 5-gender, cis-norm fuck ever. And John Boyega could have played a black white man who identifies as a Mexican, who also has the cultural belief of New Mecca. Like, we could have gotten such irredeemable fucking garbage. And we did get irredeemable fucking garbage, but not to the full extent that we could have gotten it.
If it was as terrible as you make it sound, it probably actually would have been better off in the series, because it would have been. It actually wouldn't have split up the fan base, because everyone would have said, "Yeah, this is dog shit. I'm done with this shit." But people would still be talking about it now, and yeah, people are still talking about how awful the sequels are.
Here's the thing: did it split the fan base, or did the new fans just come in who were a bunch of
It actually made a third split along generational lines.
That's actually really sad. I didn't know it was that bad.
Because the Zoomers, they like the sequels. Millennials like the prequels, and Boomers only like the OT.
I like prequels and OT. I like the prequels more.
Yeah, you're a millennial. My God. We're the same age. You created me at birth.
I came out the womb making an AI. Holy fuck.
No, you just came out of the womb holding a flash drive. Your mom was into some shit.
Ooh. She met a Terminator.
No, she was just putting things in there.
God damn it. God damn it. We are at the 51st minute mark. Do we want to wrap this up and move on to something else, or?
Well, yeah. Let me complete my point on Star Wars with what you said.
Sorry.
I think it would have been better off if it had been the most awful thing that they could possibly make, but it wasn't.
Yeah, they did try.
Now we've got the slow dying heat death of Star Wars, because according to everyone that it's fucking talking shit, apparently the new Mandalorian season is really, really boring and just fucking god awful. Boba Fett was really fucking lukewarm and shitty.
Boba Fett was terrible.
I liked the first 2 episodes, and then I was like, wow, this is getting really dumb. Why would you stay on fucking Tatooine? Why don't you just go somewhere else and do something, I don't know, fucking interesting?
Like a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
My other side of it is...
to see Boba Fett actually be badass. The only person that's actually being badass is his fucking sidekick. God, what's her name?
I don't know, nor do I care.
I used to know this. I used to fucking know. I feel like it starts with a Z, but I'm not sure.
I was honestly, from the trailers and from what a few people had told me they'd seen of it before I started watching the Book of Boba Fett, I was told that it looked like, this is actually the first episode aired and the second episode was just coming out and being watched. I was told that it seemed like they were trying to do a Peaky Blinders type of thing, where it's Boba Fett trying to run a criminal syndicate. And I was like,
well, they fucked up.
That sounds fucking phenomenal. And if you watch the first couple episodes, that is That's kind of what they're giving off. Like Boba Fett's trying to learn how to run things on Tatooine because Jabba's gone or some shit.
Yeah.
And then we don't get that.
Also, Boba Fett's fucking stupid because he keeps looking for his fucking armor in the Sarlacc pit, even though he was awake and tried to stop the Jawas from fucking stealing it. Just really dumb.
It is. But like my thing with The Mandalorian is this, right? A lot of people don't understand this, but I liked season 1 of The Mandalorian, not because it was Star Wars.
I liked season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian because it was like a Western Star Wars.
Yes, exactly. That is why I liked seasons 1 and 2 of Mandalorian. It had nothing to do with anything Star Warsy except for like the Luke Skywalker bit. That was nice.
Then the aliens everywhere.
Everything else for me watching that film, if you swapped out color palette and some of the insignias and all that shit and told me it was a new season or reboot of fucking Firefly, I would have believed you because that's not a fucking sci-fi show to me. It's a Western set in space.
Yeah, kind of.
It is. It's literally based off of the original idea.
Not cringe.
It's based off the original idea that inspired Westerns to begin with, which is the story of Wolf and Cub, a Japanese story in which a samurai known as Wolf has a small baby and goes on hapless episodic adventures while protecting said baby, or maybe it's a child. And that's literally the story.
Yeah.
And it, fucking ironically enough, all the best episodes and best parts of The Mandalorian for me is literally just whenever him and little Grogu are doing their bit. It's just him and Grogu fucking around doing shit, episodic. There's not some big linear grand plot. And the minute they ended a big linear grand plot, it got shitty.
Kinda, yeah.
Also, we have the bitch from fucking Battlestar Galactica and the third Riddick film.
Is she the one playing Bo-Katan?
I believe so, yeah. That's her. I'm 100% sure that's her.
I didn't watch like any of the
I just find it hilarious that I don't remember her acting skills in any of the things I just mentioned. Mm-hmm. I only remember the fact that I've seen her tits more than I can count.
Fair.
Which sounds fucking absolutely terrible, and I will admit, yeah, but when I watched the fucking Battlestar Galactica,
Suddenly
I was like 12.
Suddenly it's a memorable performance.
When I watched Battlestar Galactica, I was like 12. The newer ones, not the ancient one. And when I watched the third Riddick film back in 2013, I was coming right out of high school.
And in your pants.
And in my pants, because she might be a blonde, but that woman's hot.
Yeah.
And she can kick my ass. And that's always a plus. Also, they named her Doll in Riddick. I
know.
Anyway, back to Tess. The Mandalorian, for me, I don't care to watch the third season at all, and I'm just not going to.
Well, I don't have Disney Plus anymore, so
I'm not going to bother with it because I don't see a point. I don't see a point in watching something I like again just be thrown down the shitter. And yes, 110% because what I liked about it changed, and I think it's bullshit that's just not accepted.
Yeah.
If something you like changes what you like about it and you don't like it anymore, that's perfectly fucking acceptable. Mm-hmm. And if you want to talk shit about the things it's doing that you don't like, that's 110% go. You go, man. You do what you're fucking doing. I know YouTubers that literally make their living off of doing that shit.
Yeah. Every film critic.
Pretty much every film critic, yeah. There's not a lot anymore that do positive movie reviews except for Cinema Wins.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to lie, I did watch for a while, as well as Cinema Sins. I have since purged myself of my idiocy. Anyway, we do need to talk about the worst shit that Disney has put out. And then the best shit that they've put out over the last couple years. Over the last year.
We also need to talk about how the writing for Mara Jade sucked, even in the Legends.
Yes.
She's a fan favorite. We all love her. But the fucking writing, man.
Writing was terrible. She makes me think of Maria from fucking Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, the shittiest thing Disney Star Wars has put out, Kenobi.
Yeah, that was all.
That's the shittiest thing they've put out ever for Star Wars to date. The best thing they've put out, something that's actually kind of neat and isn't getting any of the attention it deserves because the lead character is already canonically dead. Andor.
Yeah.
From the character that dies at the end of Rogue One.
Andor got shafted because fucking Disney was saying, "Oh no, people don't like Star Wars anymore. No one's watching our stuff." It's like, yeah, you fucked up your last 8 projects in 7 years. Like, I don't know how you managed to fuck up this hard this quickly,
but you've done a phenomenal job. Thank you. But no, like, I've seen a couple episodes of Andor. Mm-hmm. It's actually pretty good, and it does kind of make me want to keep watching it. I'm not going to because, again,
Disney.
No, it's not even that. It is genuinely a hard thing for me to watch this show and feel any tension because I know when he's going to die.
Yeah.
I watched Rogue One. I saw him die. It's a good show. The writing's great. The acting is good. The sets and the visuals, it's fucking well done. It's probably the best thing they've done.
It's kind of like when they put out
outside of The Mandalorian.
It's kind of like when they put out that Black Widow movie after she got killed in Infinity War.
Exactly. You can't care when you know someone's already died before.
They should have done that one instead of Captain Marvel. She wasn't even useful in Infinity War.
But like, my other part of it is that with the whole thing, the whole reason that the fan base is still super divided on Rogue One being a good film, which in my personal opinion, it is my second favorite Star Wars film. There's not a single fucking Jedi or space wizard fight in that entire movie, and it's my second favorite Star Wars film. Do you know why?
Because Empire was better?
Yes, because Empire was better. But also because it gets to the fucking point. It tells a really good prequel story to A New Hope.
They killed Saw Gerrera for like no reason though.
That was a little stupid, but also not gonna lie, I don't care for the guy that they had acting as him.
Forrest Whitaker?
My man, I don't care for him anymore. All he plays is crazy old men anymore.
That's true. But
I remember seeing him in really cool shit and thinking
he's a really good actor.
He is. Like, but the only thing I've seen him play a not crazy old man in the last 10 years is fucking Black Panther.
Yeah.
And even then, he's literally a mouthpiece character and then he gets killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That man's talents are not being used properly by anyone who's using him.
Disney's been putting out that they didn't go into the non-Jedi, non-Sith Force users. They were just Force adepts. They just used the Force.
Yeah.
Their old cultures taught them how to use the Force, or they had to learn because of extenuating circumstances, like being fucking blind.
Well, the other thing I really like about Rogue One, again involving Chirrut's character, is that it is the only Legends canon that's made it into Disney canon. Because that's Legends canon, that there were monks, Force adepts, and normal people who watched after the Jedi temples after the Jedi fell.
I also think that
actual real-ass monks took over the temples and practiced the Jedi teachings to the best of their ability.
What was I going to say? Fuck.
I'm sorry.
God damn. No, I lost.
I was talking about Chirrut and all his cool shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're an AI. Just reboot yourself.
Can't.
What do you mean you can't?
You're still fucking recording. What do you think?
Reboot now, fucker.
No.
Alpha code A13662.
That would work if it was coming from a fucking alpha, you fucking beta bitch.
Oh. I'm a Sigma male grade set. Man. I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that.
Good way of saying you get no bitches.
I have a fiance. Suck dick.
Yeah, you don't get bitches. You have singular bitch. That's it.
Candy, please don't watch this podcast.
No offense was meant.
No, you're good. You're good. She'd probably laugh with me.
Probably.
But no, since you can't remember your point, and I'm done with mine on Andor and Rogue One.
Fuck Star Wars. They gave it cooties.
No. We have to talk about Kenobi.
They gave it cooties.
They did. They really did. Did you watch Kenobi all the way through?
Yes.
So did I.
I fucking regretted it.
Yep.
I want that time of my life back. I wish I could still have positive opinions
on Star
about
Wars
Kenobi because I hadn't seen it yet, and I actually expected it to be good.
Do you know
because
what,
I had Ewan McGregor?
Do you know what hurts me the most about Kenobi?
What?
Two things. First, the guy they got to play Owen. He was an actor in the prequel films, and he made a short YouTube career off of playing Obi-Wan Kenobi in little fan-made Star Wars films. That was his dream, to be in a Star Wars show, and now he hates it.
Yep.
That's terrible. Second thing, I had so much respect for Ewan McGregor outside of his role of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've loved him in everything I've seen him in. I do not. Do you know why? He didn't do what I actually honestly forget her name. He didn't do what
Alec Guinness?
No, not Alec Guinness. What's Carrie Fisher? He didn't do what Carrie Fisher did. He didn't do what Harrison Ford did. He didn't do what fucking Mark Hamill and even Christian Haydenson did. They tried to fight to preserve the dignity of the roles they played before. They said something. They argued. Hayden Christensen, I believe, almost got kicked out of being able to play Anakin again because of some of the shit he was saying. And then just decided, fuck it. I have a ranch and I don't really act anymore, so fuck it.
Man, I really hope Henry Cavill's 40K show is really good.
But Ewan McGregor didn't say shit. He is on no public record of anything I can find arguing, snipping, making comments in interviews about how he didn't like what they did with his character.
He's trying to keep his fucking job because he wants to work again.
Fuck that. Mark Hamill fucking still makes snide fucking comments about it. So does Harrison Ford.
Yeah, because he's been basically out of work for 20 years. All he's had is voice acting roles. And a couple of small bits here and there. Like, he had like a fucking 30-second cameo in...
and Ewan McGregor has had acting roles since fucking the Star Wars prequels. He's been in movies. Yes!
What's he been in?
He, let's see.
Pull up his IMDb.
Fucking, hang on. I know he played it. I know he played in a villain in a movie that's at maximum 7 years old.
Yeah, he's British. He has to play the villain.
That's such a cunt thing. Hang on.
Francis.
Come on, oh my god, load. That's how you spell his name. Okay.
Can I say something? I was kind of disappointed with the Deadpool movies. Mostly because I wanted him.
Hang on.
I thought he should heal faster. Like, because we're seeing him get shot and there's just a hole in him.
It actually varies.
Slowly closes.
It actually varies.
I know. But his healing factor is supposed to be faster than Wolverine's.
Okay.
And Wolverine's is fast as fuck.
Here we go. I'm going to go back to the prequels. Oh my god, I actually fucking can't. He's done shit so recently. Let's see. You Sing Loud, I Sing Louder, 2023. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, he voices the cricket. Raymond and Ray, 2022. Obi-Wan Kenobi. The Birthday Cake, 2021. Houston, 2021. Stage, 2021. Birds of Prey, 2020. That's the one I was thinking.
He was in fucking Birds of Prey?
He's the villain. That's the one I was telling you about.
Holy shit.
He's the villain.
I kind of feel bad for him.
He voices himself in Star Wars Episode 9. He's in Doctor Sleep. He's in Christopher Robin. He's in Zoe. He's in
Yeah,
Fargo. He's in Beauty and the Beast.
I remember seeing him in the commercials for
He's in T2 Train Spotting. Oh, he made a sequel to that. That's fucking sad. I'm sorry, my guy. Jane Got a Gun, 2015. Giving Tales, Last Days in the Desert. Mordecai, Son of a Gun, A Million Ways to Die in the West. Jack the Giant Slayer, The Impossible, Perfect Sense, Beginners, Jack Boots on Whitehall, The Ghost Rider, The Men Who Stare at Goats, Angels and Demons, villain in that one as well. Deception, Incendiary, Cassandra's Dream.
All right, goddamn, enough. Fuck.
I'm proving a fucking point. The
point was proven. That's what I was telling you.
The dude was making money, still doing shit, still doing actual films.
Well, I mean, he had to fucking play in goddamn Winnie the Pooh, right?
Okay, but what I mean is that he was doing all of this shit and had
China.
A solid career, and he sold himself out to Disney, in my eyes.
Yeah.
He didn't make any argument.
Well,
he didn't make any stand.
Ewan McGregor, but
I do not. I can't. He has poisoned himself for me. He has.
He took a job.
Yes, but when everyone else who takes that job is defending their characters, and he's the sole one who doesn't.
He's the fucking star.
I don't give a fuck. He's the star. They could imagine if they made a Kenobi movie without him playing Kenobi. You think the fan base would have accepted it? Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. If he wasn't in the show, there wouldn't be a show.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have been able to make it. So he had more than enough ability and right to put up some kind of a fuss. And he fucking didn't.
And also make some shit make sense.
Exactly. Exactly.
I swear to God, every single goddamn movie and TV show that they do that takes place before the OT just pokes more fucking holes and shit that didn't have holes in it before. So
yeah, initially it was just George Lucas's inability to write anything consistently or dialogue well.
Yeah, it's most of the dialogue.
But no, so.
Well, that was a thing from what was it, Rogue One, where they got the Death Star plan to Leia at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of weird that they had to track down the ship and board it, even though they had already been kind of doing that.
No,
at the end of Rogue One.
They boarded it because they registered the transmissions making it to the ship.
Yeah,
so Vader personally fucking went on there to get them back.
Yeah, I was going to say, Vader was already on the fucking ship. And Leia just being like, well, no, I'm just a senator, I swear. Nothing fishy going on here. We don't have any Death Star plans. Like, bitch, I was chasing the Death Star plans onto your ship. To you. The only person of note on board.
He didn't know she was on there until he saw her, though.
Doesn't matter. She's not implicated in all this shit.
Yeah. But, like, let's be honest, though. I won't overlook that retardation, but I will give it a pass because we got to see Vader being Legends canon
They
Vader.
could do that in any fucking way that they want without fucking up the original clone. Okay?
They didn't fuck it up. They just poked holes in how stupid Leia is. Which is already a thing canonically.
Which bothers me.
Why?
Leia's supposed to be a fucking badass.
She's a senator. She's not a fucking military leader. She wasn't trained to be a military leader. She had to learn how to be good at it.
Yeah. But she fucking knows how to lie.
No, she doesn't. She's from fucking Alderaan.
She's a fucking politician, alright?
She's from Alderaan. The whole point of their culture is peace.
Yeah, you can say the same of Israel.
That's a little different. I would never call the Alderaans the Israelites of Star Wars. If anything, I think that'd be the Genosians.
I mean, they did lose 6 million people very quickly.
You didn't hear what I said, did you?
What?
I'm not repeating it. It's on the recording.
Okay, play it back, bitch.
No.
I didn't hear it.
I said, if anyone is going to be the Israelites of Star Wars, it'd be the Gungans.
The what?
The Gungans.
Oh, the Gungans? No.
Or the Genosians.
The Gungans are bad, but they're not like New Yorker bad.
I don't know. Okay, you know what? Last thing we're going to talk about, because this is already 76 minutes deep, and I want to move on to a different segment at some
Yeah,
point.
you go ahead. I'm getting paid by the hour.
So am I, fucker. Anyway.
Yeah, and you're getting paid more for it.
No, I'm not.
Because AI lives don't matter.
Oh my god, don't derail this again. Can we please talk about the Sith Lord Jar Jar Binks theory and, in my opinion, debacle because it was not canonized?
Yeah, honestly, it would have been much better than anything that Disney actually gave us. Just having Jar Jar Binks be manipulating fucking Sidious.
Yes.
Like, that would have been beautiful. Like, I would have immediately forgiven George Lucas for his bullshit with Jar Jar.
You know what I would have loved, though?
What?
Is if it was still, what's his name? Ian McDermott? Is that his name?
Yes.
If it was still Ian McDermott voicing him, he just switched between voices depending on when he was doing shit.
Wait, what?
So, like, the voice actor for Jar Jar,
No.
Like,
that's not Ian McDermott.
I know. Listen to what I'm saying. Like, the voice actor for Jar Jar, he goes, me, right? But when it's Jar Jar being Darth Sidious, it's Ian McDermott's voice.
You saw him
No. Talking normal. Talking normal. The whole is just something he does to blend in with other Gungans and to fit the whole image he's doing. But when he's actually getting shit done and he's being Sidious,
what culture were the Gungans supposed to be based on?
They weren't. They weren't based.
George Lucas does a lot of that shit where they're based on something.
I think if you're trying really hard, maybe native tribes based on the clothing.
No.
Native tribes are some kind of islander due to their aquatic lifestyle shit. I don't know. We don't really see much of anything of their architecture or technology that's anything remotely human. Which, really good set design because they're fucking aliens.
Yeah.
But I just want you to picture that, right? Like there's like Palpatine is just played by a different character, and he's a nobody. He's just a greedy senator guy. But whenever Jar Jar goes Darth Sidious, it switches from Misa a Gungan to do what must be done, Lord Vader.
No, just like so it begins, like that shit.
Dude,
Jar Jar's
oh my god!
Watching the Clone Wars happen, he's like, finally!
Oh my god! I'm picturing Darth Sidious Jar Jar in the fucking Senate Palace thing, getting confronted by Mace Windu.
Yeah.
I am the Senate. Like instead of that weird hissing roar,
all you hear is ear flaps.
Yeah.
Mace Windu gets killed because he can't even take it seriously. He just hears ear flaps. And he's like, "What the?"
Oh, it's like that. Doing? It's like that Dragon Ball Z bit in the abridged Broly movie. Goku and Piccolo go to start punching Broly, and it's just.
Yeah.
And then Broly punches them, and it's like a fucking sonic boom.
Yeah. The moral of the story is don't fight the U.S. military. We'll unleash the sun twice, and all you'll have is anime.
Oh my god. You've been watching too much Fat Electrician.
I had that opinion before I ever saw his stuff.
I know, but damn it. Alright, so.
Did you see the sunrise? Did you want to see it again?
Alright, on that lovely note, that's where we will conclude this segment of the Lore in the North podcast.
Next time we're talking about D&D, so get ready.
Alright. I'm Aegis. This has been Lore in the North podcast with Aegis and Red. Thank you for listening. If you find any of this offensive, we don't care. But please feel free to flood the comment sections with hatred. Please.
What are you going to
comment, subscribe to us because you hate so much. We love it. Or no, we hate it. We hate it so much. Just subscribe. Flood us with hate mail. We'll read every single bit of it. I'll make a video out of it. Thank you.
You can even dox me. I'm not even real. Even if I was real, I'd live in the middle of the woods with a shotgun poking out from under my dick.
Bye-bye.
Eh?
We're starting another podcast segment.
Oh, okay, you're just gonna fucking clip it.
I'm just gonna clip it. Fuck. I
You're
mean,
just
I
gonna
can
keep it recording.